afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from the host Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1, a Monday novice fight on wrecked trains. As indeed the trains shall be wrecked, or well, they are already wrecked. But there should be more wrecking on this field. We shall be watching Faind, and I'll just call him that, versus Treaser. Treaser's versus Faind. Treaser fighting for the United States for the 3rd Armoured Division in a fight against Faind of the, I don't know, let's just say the 2nd SS Panzer Division, das Reich. Bit of a 1 versus 1 here, bit of action between the two players. Should be all good fun, and well, overall I would say the fighting sort of here is, a higher level novice scale. Definitely got the basics all right, and we're already seeing here some very aggressive play from Faind. I mean, that's not the usual sort of thing you'd expect from a novice player, but he's going, all in with 3 Kettenkrats, hoping to seize as much territory initially. I mean, most novices tend to play a bit more passively, a bit more, I don't know, lump-footedly. But Faind is just rolling out with the Kettenkrats and just securing as much territory initially as possible, so that's actually quite interesting. Whereas we do see more regular training here, start with a rifleman already on the way from a Treaser, and of course that could give a Treaser advantage if he, of course, utilizes it properly. Of course he needs to push in, of course, on this stage Faind is very much vulnerable to any rifleman pushing in and doing a lot of damage to him, because he'll have very, very little infantry then initially to hold up the American troops and to defend himself with. In fact, currently he's only got 1 squad of Panzergrenadiere. Ja, Hans, wie werden die einste Panzergrenadier? Oh, wait, someone else are coming. Oh, never mind then. Point there secured. And of course, currently, I mean, Treaser has absolutely no idea what Faind is actually doing, although he probably should be soon getting an idea what is exactly that Faind is up to. Also here, slight mistake. He clicked near to the point but didn't actually probably click, and he hasn't paid attention, so the engineers are actually not taking the point set. They're now going to get attacked. So slight misclick there. And seems to be happening again, so there seems to be a slight oddity right here from Treaser with constantly misclicking, and he needs to get his engineers out there. They are not going to win the fight against those Panzergrenadier 43s, particularly not when they are in heavy cover and his men are in light. And there we go, Panzer in heavy cover. He needs to rush it with both squads of riflemen. Come on, Treaser, don't hang about with another squad taking the point while there's an enemy nearby. And that's definitely a poor case of priorities. Always focus down the enemy first, then you can take points. Kettenkrat rushing in. But finally we got some movement on Treaser, but again he should have been able to he should have been rushing that squad of Panzergrenadiers more quickly, more viciously, more aggressively. Instead of, just hanging back with 1 squad waiting for something to happen.
Losing ground out there.
Got 3 squads of infantry out for him. About 3 squads of Panzergrenadiers out for Faind. Faind so far holding most of the map, but he's definitely beginning to lose territory. Arriving on the hunt for a Kettenkrat. And again, seems like Treaser might want to work on that. It seems to be a rather common occurrence that he misclicks, so he might want to look into why that happens more specifically. That would at least be a possible suggestion there. Since that amount of misclicks would rather to be disconcerting and rather an indicator that something is not quite working as it should, or someone is not clicking as they should. Kettenkrat here coming on fire again, rush in with the rifleman, sends the crowd running. Grenades on the way from Treaser, interestingly. Not entirely sure why he's going for that. Not really sure. I mean, he's not seeing an awful lot of infantry, he's seeing a lot of Kettenkrats, so why he's going for grenades like that is it's an odd thing to do. Well, that's not to say it's going to be rubbish, just not what I would have imagined or suggested. Right now, though, we do see some nice combined arms. They're going from Faind. The Gewehr 43 Panzer are going to suppress the rifleman squad. The others take up position. And there we go. The riflemen are down in the dirt, getting shot at. We are seeing another squad moving up, likely going to lob a grenade at them. Hold out, friends. Help is coming. Charging in. And there we go. Grenade. The pineapple grenade. Giving the Krauts that vital vitamin explosive in their faces. Rather than nicely dodged that by Faind. Rifleman though getting torn up. Other Panzer Rifleman squad might want to get off a grenade here on those unlucky and plucky Panzer gunners. And there we go. Grenade goes off. 2 man down and the other. Will he get it? No, looks like they do escape. Hans makes the lucky run, but already here we do see that the tables have turned. Then on Faind, he is all of a sudden not in control of the map. We also see the Logistik Company up now for Faind and the 2nd SS. Panzer is pushing away the engineers. With a bit of deft pushing. A bit of territory being secured. And more aggressive grenading going on from Faind. Continuing to cause severe casualties to Faind. There we go, nicely done by Treaser. Did I say Faind? Oh, never mind, they both have silly names, which makes it a bit hard to keep track of. But there we go. Now Treaser, on the other hand, is actually dominating the map. He might want to begin then actually laying up defenses, tank traps, barbed wire. I mean, those 2 things would pretty much hold up Faind rather nicely, so that would be very much recommendable. And I also suggest him actually pushing the advantage. Now he's going for Browning automatics. I think I would have preferred, supply and then going either for the motor pool or a tank depot. He's currently staying around too much, I think, in tier 1. And again, should be trying to push an advantage. And now actually we do see that Faind has actually gone for the increased squad sizes for his Panzer Grenadiers, increasing their, numbers considerably. Increasing the amount of damage one squad can do and, of course, absorb. Don't move them out in the open, man. They're so low on health. That was definitely not what I would call a recommendable good move right there from Treaser. And we're seeing more Panzers moving in. He needs to retreat. He needs to retreat. I mean, the situation is dire. He's going to get hit in the flanks right now. And there we go. Larger retreat. 1 squad of riflemen left. They should get into heavy cover. Quickly. Swiftly. Now, instead of hanging about out in the open, Treaser definitely needs to work on his get units back into cover movements and a bit on his tactical awareness. Which Faind so far does seem to possess a bit better off. There we go, pushing up with the Panzer. Although we do see a grenade right into heavy cover, ending the life of Fritz. Shoemaker from the town of Baden-Baden. But now a corpse. Supply out finally going out for Treaser. About bleeding damn time. Panzer here going to get spotted with the rifle. The rifle able to get off a good amount of bullets on them. That could actually cause some losses right here, since there's another squad of Panzers very low on health. But now he keeps moving a bit too far. Grenade going off. Slightly misjudging there. Might want to consider working on his grenade lobbing abilities, or at least identifying where to lob them. Also note here we're seeing 5 squads of riflemen out for Treaser. That's an awful bloody lot of riflemen. Although I suppose, I mean, considering the sort of playstyle that Mr. Faind is actually going for, one could imagine it might work, but also, getting out armor cars early or a tank early could, also prove beneficial. But now we do see a return from Faind. Riflemen swarm forwards. Panzers here going to get a bit of run off. And the kitten card coming under fire, might even go down to the Browning automatics. But no, it managed to get onto the road and rush away. Panzers moving up, they get into cover, take up positions and fire down the damn Krauts. Also no doctrine, of course. Infantry doctrine at this stage might be good. Begin laying down defenses again, tank traps, barbed wire, make it harder for the Panzer League player to move in. Mines might also prove beneficial. But again, holding most of the map so far. Treaser doing alright nicely, though again I think he is missing the opportunity to actually push any advantages he so far has gained. And there we go, we're seeing a considerably large infantry assault going in from Faind. 4 squads of 4-man Panzer gunners. Grenade though going in. Oh, not well timed. And there we go, another grenade. Faind though largely low, not blobbing up too badly. I mean, they're still moving, but it's not so much of a blob as a more larger wave, which does make it a bit easier to actually avoid grenades. Treaser needs to be a bit careful. He gets a bit too eager, I think, with the grenades. And he needs to not charge in right across open ground towards units in heavy car with Gewehr 43s. Oh dear, that was definitely a misclick again. Rather seems to happen a bit too much for Treaser. And let's have a look at Faind and the 2nd SS, who's currently having to fight back for his life with 5 4-man squads. So we're all heavy infantry complements from both players. And we do see a light half-track out now for Faind, a light anti-tank half-track in fact. Medic station, I think that is would well, medic station and a Treaser center. Both things would be a good move for Treaser. He needs to heal his infantry, but at the same time, of course, he also needs to perhaps consider, recovering the losses, keep up some attrition against Faind. And of course, Faind at this very moment could simply upgrade his Panzer support command and go straight for the Panzer 4 infantry support tank very shortly thereafter, and that would probably work out quite nicely, since again currently Treaser would be very much unprepared. Now he is going for a motor pool, and at this stage of the fight I actually think that would be a bad move. I mean, against the Panzer as the Americans, you're usually better off actually much more aggressively pursuing a tank depot and then either getting a few early tank destroyers or some Shermans against the Panzer elite, rather than going for the armored car, since that will be much more quickly locked down. No, just saying making suggestions. We're seeing a full frontal assault across open ground. We do see here actually Faind focusing down the squads. That is nicely done, but again, not really well handled. A lot of infantry a bit wasted. Grenades going off on the Panzers again. Faind dodging, and yeah, that was pretty much just a waste of manpower. He should have been, attacking other places, or again, he shouldn't have had to, attack this place in the first place, and properly barbed wired, mine, and all that. But again, clearly a huge problem for Treaser in actually preparing defenses. He seems, having got a problem visualizing that the enemy might actually attack him back and take back territory. And get a bit of barbed wire, a few mines, a few tank traps could really do him a huge favor in making it harder for Faind and his Panzer Grenadiers to actually attack forwards. So, a suggestion there. And again, a Treaser center would probably also benefit him greatly. We do see the motor pool lighting up. Continuing to take away territory from Faind. That is nicely done by Treaser. While Treaser is much more... Well, Faind is much more slowly advancing. I keep messing them up. That's not really good. But Faind is slowly advancing, using his Kettenkrauts quite nicely. And now we see a Panzer commander. Again, I do feel there's a certain amount of waste from both players, getting things there. I mean, why get a Panzer command when you can just upgrade the Panzer support command, get a Panzer 4? It just seems a bit odd. And again, I think Treaser needs to get a bit less excited about just lobbing grenades at everything. He needs to, work on actually identifying a good grenade target and then lobbing the grenade. He gets a bit too overexcited, and that way he actually ends up wasting a lot of munitions, which probably would then have been better used on mines, for example. Which is a bit unfortunate. Rifleman squads running away left and right, slowly advancing up here. He needs to flank this position, have some unit keeping in common, for example, here would be a good one. Take these 2 squads, push up here, then attack from the angle. But we do now see the Greyhound moving in, getting a Panzer Grenadier. And of course, the odd thing is, Treaser knows that his opponent has an anti-tank half-track, so it's a bit odd that he actually gets an armoured car, at the very least. But there we go, nice flanking assault. Armoured car slowly advancing. And again, pushing forwards in a huge wave. Again, across open ground, troops getting suppressed. Likely going to get in with a grenade range. And there we go, Granate. Oh, we could see a squad, yeah. So there we go, an exchange of squads. There we go, and he's pushing forward an infantry squad again. Treaser, work on your infantry preservation. He just lost 2 squads of infantry. In that particular last case, that was quite needless. So, there are definitely some problems with how Treaser approaches infantry attacks. It's a bit too casualty intensive for him. He's still holding on to most of the map, which is always good. In fact, Faind is currently down to almost half of what Treaser has. And there we go, the armored car rolling in, with the second one on the way. Riflemen might want to get out of there, and there we go. Gone like the wind. Gone with the wind, or gone like something else. Make up your own damn metaphors. Quiet, quiet, quiet. A bit of again harassment. That's at least good to see from Treaser and Faind. I mean, they've got that bit right, but again, I would like to see if Treaser could also get the whole preparing for enemy attack bit right. But a second Greyhound app. He could, of course, try then launching a full assault against the anti-tank half-track. And we're seeing actually anti-tank grenades on the way from Faind. And of course, the question is, does Treaser actually have sticky bombs? That might, also prove useful. I suspect he might be trying to actually launch an attack on the anti-tank half-track, but then he needs to also be sure to pull in this part of the assault. Not just launch one at a time, and there we go. Come on, get the other part moving. Don't attack one at a time, Treaser. And there we go, immobilized. There we go, the other armor car pulling up. The riflemen again out in the open. They take a much more exposed path. He keeps on doing it. And be sure to focus down the anti-tank half-track with the other armored car. Pay it. Oh dear. There you go, anti-tank grenades took it out. Riflemen there are slaughtered. Another assault from Treaser went awry. And of course, an anti-tank gun would probably have been overall better, He could easily have gotten that. I mean, I'm not sure why he insisted on the whole two armored cars approach, and then again, didn't pull off quite properly. But again, an anti-tank gun would have helped much more immensely. And another infantry assault, and again, another BAR dropped. I mean, he's losing a ton of riflemen, dropping a wealth of Browning automatics to be used by his opponent. It's not really good.
Unit has died in action.
Looks like a Ken crowd finally went down.
The enemy is attacking a petrol depot.
But Faind is now really getting the upper hand. He's causing some intense and severe casualties. Two Treasers down to 3 infantry squads with 1 man each. Which generally tends to be an indicator that things have gone very, very wrong. And considering that each of them, well, some of them have veterans on, whereas, note how much more veterancy Faind's troops have. There are some issues. He's, constantly attacking from the wrong angles, again, from the open towards units in heavy cover. And again, he's, taking absurdly high casualties while doing so. Which is not really beneficial. And again, he probably should have gone for the tank depot much earlier. And we're finally seeing it there for Treaser. Which definitely belongs to the category about damn time. And now we also see that Faind has gotten every single building already up. And he's upgrading the Panzer Support Command. And a bit of quiet. Rangers now for Treaser, so he has gone in for infantry again. Then question is, couldn't he have done it earlier? And again, couldn't he have then gotten some mines down?
The enemy will never be able
now we have seen the Rangers being sent up the right hand side on a small mission of importance to the United States. Treaser preparing a smaller line up the far right hand side as well, though he might want to actually send the Rangers up to support that. And the Clinton card runs away in the face of the Rangers and their bazookas. Quickly getting slowed down, but not fully. They are moving ahead with the Thompsons. We're likely going to see another grenade if Treaser's previous play has been right. And there we go. Immediately losing 1 Panzer Grenadier to the Rangers. More Panzer Grenadiers are moving in. Small force moving up. Their Greyhound needs to be close to it at the very least. Nothing from the tank depot. And there we go. The Rangers are forced on a retreat. Sending a unit into the house there, that's not a bad move. Definitely one of the more sensible ones so far. And a Panzer IV infantry support tank is on the way for Faind. And the seconders has actually had a slight variety of tanks, not just Panthers and Panzer IVs, but even a few Panzer IIIs. Usually though, as command tanks. Greyhound rolls up there and gets off a nice hit on the armoured car. Rifleman sneaking up there. Troops reinforcing. And there we go, look like the assault squad is up for Faind. Moving in with their Sturmgewehrs. And closing in quite nicely. Treaser might want to consider actually using his suppressive fire ability on his riflemen, which seems to be forgotten in favour of the grenades with, well, disastrous results. Fighting though continues, and it has returned to Treaser in fact.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
Well, again, has lost an awful lot.
Hi.
There we go, the Panzer IV with the shorter cannon up. Panzer Grenadier pushed off there. Lovely. Armoured cars though quick to lock up the area, ensuring that Rangers can't advance. And again, he's moving up in the open and on its own, ensuring that his Rangers are much easier targets. At the same time as Panzer squad moving up there, no support from Rifle, just the armoured car. Although he's quick to rush in the armoured car to get off some good flanking shots. Rangers though mauled brutally. And these riflemen need to get out of there. Come on, Treaser. Veterans, you come on. Too late. Again, Treaser needs to work on his unit preservation. There definitely seems to be a certain tendency to just rush in his troops and not really to think about getting them out of there again. Or for that matter, getting them to the target in the first place. Now the troops out the house will hold things up. Sherman on the move. He might want to consider getting at least another one as soon as humanly possible. Armor car mobilized, which is definitely not good news. Come on, Sherman, move faster. Greyhound went down. Lots of VARs dropped down there. And again, a Veterans 2 squad was lost. And there we go, Sherman moving in. Just keep moving, Treaser, hunt it down, don't stop up. Oh dear. In fact, now he's moving back. We do see the Panzer IV rolling in. Not that I would have actually been able to do much with its very low velocity gun. Armoured skirts up, but that won't do much against the Sherman. Get the Sherman close, don't let the Panzer IV escape. Since I'm actually all the Faind moving much sooner, but again, keep moving, Treaser, hunt it down. Again, rather a lack of aggression right now from Treaser when he actually has something that can largely currently ignore whatever it has. Well, whatever it is Faind has on the field, but you know, he's now all of a sudden getting incredibly passive when he shouldn't be with something, you know, oh, good lord. And then again, now he's just completely holding back the Sherman. He has no problem rushing infantry across open ground, but when it comes to the Sherman, he's apparently Mr. Pussyfoots himself. Which refers to, you know, cat feet, not the other kind of feet. Hetzer rolling out, Rangers, and he quickly needs to get that Sherman up, flanking the Hetzer. Again, movement, don't park the Sherman. Generally, you shouldn't be parking your tanks unless it's on the flank of your opponents. But again, flank, keep moving, and again, I mean, there's current utter disarray in Faind's forces. There's nothing he really has except, you know, the anti-tank half-tank. Hetzer, come on, no, don't! Why did he do that? Why didn't he focus down the anti-tank half-tank? It really seems like Treaser has absolutely no idea what he's doing. Now he's lost the Rangers as well. He still hasn't gotten the anti-tank half-tank either. I mean, there's so many things that have been allowed to live, which is actually biting me in the arse quite severely right now. We are seeing another Sherman on the way, that's good, but again, there's definitely some things that Treaser needs to have a stern talking to with himself about. And there we go, the Sherman was lost, and the thing is, it could have been avoided. Had he been more aggressive, never mind that he'd probably have inflicted much more severe casualties on Faind. Again, he could have gotten the Panzer IV, he could have gotten the mortar half-track, the anti-tank half-track. Not just with that and the 2 armoured cars. I mean, really some absolutely vast opportunities missed there by Treaser. And again, because apparently he just decided that his Sherman was made of cotton candy, whereas apparently his riflemen, according to his view, are made of steel. Not the other way around. Quite disturbing, to be honest. And ultimately, again, his passive play with the Sherman rather ended up biting him in the arse when Faind rather proceeded not to play passively and rather play aggressively with what he had. We do see another Kettencrad going down. In fact, that's all the Kettencrads for Faind. But will Treaser actually push his advantage? And of course, will he ensure to keep his Sherman supported? Because that's going to be vital right now. Never mind, he has so little left. He could also consider upgunning the Sherman, in which case it would largely outmatch the Hetzer, by the way. But apparently not. And again, the current situation for Faind is actually pretty poor, though we do now see a Baggage on the way, which could actually further level things against Treaser. Again, Treaser needs to push in, be a bit aggressive, be a bit bold. And he's actually getting a howitzer now. I don't really think it's artillery he needs. Hetzer moving in. Again, he's actually sitting in an unguarded Hetzer, which, you know, he could flank with the Sherman and knock out. But again, it's just not happening. Instead, Treaser seems to be losing all hope and courage and just ends up retreating. Again, nice open ground here. Move ahead and get behind the Hetzer. Don't slug it out with it. That's definitely not the most effective way to fight a tank destroyer or an assault gun. In particular, since the Hetzer technically was an assault gun, but was actually only designated as a tank destroyer due to jurisdictional problems between the artillery and Guderian. And in fact, this Hetzer has been heavily damaged. He knows it's retreating back with a lot of damage or shot, but again, he's allowing it to get away. Again, Treaser is simply much too passive. Again, except with his infantry, which he then proceeds to lose an awful lot of. I mean, there's a huge gap in how he uses infantry and how he uses his armor. And which is only helping Faind win. And of course, Faind could also stand to be a bit more aggressive at times. And of course, the question is, will all of this, why isn't he going straight for the Panthers? Or for that matter, why isn't he getting some replacement Kettencards? Or repairing the Panzer IV for that matter.
Just tell us where to drop. Artillery reporting.
And now both sides are doing nothing. It's actually time for the mid-game analysis current situation. Faind is the one holding the least amount of territory, but at the same time he's definitely got the more impressive force. He's got more infantry, he's got more army, he's got more vehicles overall. He's got more, and he's currently got the advantage because Treaser pretty much just at the moment threw away his, possibly even the entire game, although of course he might still make a comeback. Faind though needs to be a bit more aggressive, needs to form into some more groups and then actually, you know, push forwards, gaining the map as quickly as possible, making it hard of course for Treaser to get back. And he's going tank destroyers, of course there's also the opportunity of just basically laying down some telemines to really make life difficult and painful for Treaser. And I would also recommend him just basically going straight for the Panthers in this case. For Treaser, he needs to get his act together. He needs to restock his forces, get some units out again. He needs to get an off-map combat group to really, you know, add in some numbers. Get another Sherman, upgun the Shermans, and then he otherwise just needs to destroy everything that Faind has. I mean, again, don't stop up when he has little health left. Go in, kill the bastard. Again, he seems to apparently assume that there's some sort of even bigger thing waiting, and again, he's just missing out on so many opportunities simply because he refuses to take any chances. I mean, he's the sort of person that Patton would absolutely have yelled at and then proceed to slap the living snot out of. Because again, if there's one thing Patton was actually good at, it was actually pursuing the enemy once he was broken, and that's rather a great distinction right now between Treaser and Patton. Besides the fact that Patton was also a bit of an arsehole and actually failed pretty hard when he met organised resistance, but he actually knew how to pursue the enemy when he's broken. Treaser currently does not. Again, Treaser needs to work that, needs to work on his clicking, and again, his slightly excessive grenading. But let's return to the fight. More Rangers with submachine guns. Still not a single mine from him. Not even a strip of barbed wire. Or a single Czech hedgehog. Lots of BARs, by the way, for Faind to pick up, but apparently he seems a bit reluctant to pick up this American equipment. But what if it has American cooties, Heinz? Oh, shut up, you big girl. And there we go, veteran 2 riflemen, Sturmgewehrs, holding up, but there we go, Rangers moving in with the Thompson submachine guns, tearing through. And the Sturmgewehr 44 actually had a lot of names. The previous one was the MP44, then was the MP43, and before that it was the MKB, the Machine Carabiner 42, so it was actually a weapon quite a long way under development. And there you go, armor cars moving in, Rangers getting caught out in the open, getting cut down out in the open. Bazookas firing away and largely missing. Sticky bomb, and of course, another thing that, could be much more easily considered for Treaser is just getting some damn anti-tank guns, and he probably also got those, he probably would have been doing a lot better as well. But there we go, armored car down again, anti-tank half-tech moving in. Going for that other scout car with the Sherman, and there we go. Anti-tank half-tech on the run, headsers prepared. Of course, there were no headsers in Normandy. Though they would have been fought by this stage of 1944, they largely fought exclusively on the Eastern Front. Usually in their own independent tank destroyer battalions. Before they were then also headed into infantry divisions tank destroyer company. Well, in some cases, others had to make do with martyrs and whatever. And they were going to tank half-tech spotted. Immobilized Sherman. Get everything up to support because likely he's going, that is, Faind is going to rush in everything, and we are in fact seeing that happen. I mean, you don't immobilize a Sherman unless you intend to actually get stuff into wreck kit. So again, Treaser needs to react swiftly and speedily. Also note, he actually Faind taking a very good route. He's taking the longer route, also exposing him left just in case there might be something firing from here. And looks like Treaser has realized what's likely going to happen. There we go. 2 headers moving in, and they're going to hit the flank as well. Bloody damn good job there from Faind. That is actually commendable. And again, the anti-tank are much slower to arrive. Rifle moving in, getting off a sticky bomb on the headsers. Slight problem, in fact, that's a huge problem for Faind, though, is he's sending his 2 tank destroyers without infantry support. He's actually left them incredibly open for Treaser to knock out, and we are seeing sticky bombs. We see the Sherman desperately being repaired, but ultimately not enough. Heads are mobilized. Incendiary rounds going down. Focus. Finish off the headser first. Don't let the other one get... Oh, well, never mind. Both are now, in fact, utterly immobilized. And there we go. Finally, the infantry arrive. That was a bit of a misstep, I think. And there we go. 1 headser down. Panzer going to just continue pushing forwards. And we see a full infantry retreat going in there, of course. And there we go. We do see the artillery ready to fire away as we see the panzers moving up, likely with advanced repairs, which is actually Faind just making good use of his panzer grenadiers and all the upgrades. Oh! So damn close! Had he retreated 1 second later, that would have been 8 panzer grenadiers gone, including the veterancy 3. We do see the heads are utterly wrecked. We also, of course, see that again, Treaser has been absolutely gutted, and it keeps on happening. Again, his unit preservation needs to be a bit worked on.
We have territory cut cut off from supply. We're losing ground out there.
And largely the assault rifle came about because the German army rather came about to the conclusion that during fighting it usually happened between the ranges of a submachine gun and a rifle, and then they rather realized, you know, Fritz, yeah, we don't actually have a weapon for the ranges where most fighting actually happens. So you have a point there, and then they actually said about making one, and that was the Sturmgewehr, which could also fire a single shot. And it was actually largely recommended that it fire a single shot, or at least in small bursts, because it wasn't really that much sturdier than an assault rifle, and it tended to fall apart if it actually shot too much on full auto, I believe. Rangers here getting blasted and hit by mortar fire from the mortar half-track. Artillery firing, very close to getting some kills. And we do see another Sherman, and I'd really love if Treaser actually got the 76mm upgrade again. It would really help them against the Hetzers and anything else. And Faind actually needs to put his Panzer IV into action. It's actually surprising how much passive he is with it. And a bit of a shame, to be honest. And I definitely think that Treaser now should be saving together for North Map Combat Group. I mean, I'm just not even specifically hoping for him to get the absolute best. He just needs the raw numbers it gives. He needs the infantry squads, the support weapons, whatever else comes out of it. He just needs numbers. Instead, he's getting another Ranger squad. I'm a bit disappointed there. For shame, Treaser. But again, we do see Faind actually making good use of the Baggertig. I mean, overall, Faind, while a bit, you know, short on overall small unit tactics, I mean, strategically, he's got overall the right way of progressing things. Though again, some of his passive use might hamper him towards a better play and can actually result in some serious destruction. But I mean, there's definitely some good ideas from him and also from Treaser. But again, for Treaser, it's largely the execution stage where things run into problems. And there you go, anti-tank grenade again. The Germans rather relying on a lot of anti-tank weaponry. In fact, they had a ton of it besides grenades. They also had a anti-tank rifle grenade, the Faustpatrone, they had the Panzer Faust, the Panzerschreck. They had magnetic mines, and they also used the bundle grenade, in fact, as an anti-tank weapon, believe it or not, and particularly in the early stages of the war, it could knock out the lighter armored tanks back then. So another fun fact. A bit slow in getting the heads out of it after they actually put it together. Actually a bit of a poor move there by Faind, but we do see the Sherman knocking it out. A small victory right there, and we do see pretty much a full retreat there from Faind. He's now once more open, but we actually see tank burst infantry. We're seeing dual Panzerschrecks up it. Faind is taking no chances. So Yankee Panzer must die. The Führer has commanded it. Well, not technically, but, you know, imagine he has. Again, open assault with his Rangers. And the assault rifles there through it. And again, here's the thing to remember about assault rifles. They are the only weapon which ignores the benefits that elite and airborne armor give you in terms of damage reduction. And in that sense, if you're actually facing Ranger spam or airborne spam, get some assault rifles. Either on Stormtroopers, Panzer Grenadiers, or Knights Cross Holders. Get them and tear through the bastards. And now, again, we see Treaser sending in his Sherman too far ahead. And again, it's not heavily armored. He's seen all the Panzerschrecks, at least I hope he has. And he's likely going to... No, don't stop up! Don't stop up! Again, Treaser's got some nice ideas, but they do seem to have a slight tendency of not quite, you know, taking account into what's actually going on. And now he's, you know, getting too aggressive. Oh dear. Riflemen pushing in. Panzer Grenadiers holding up. And there we go. Once more, we're actually seeing incendiary grenades. A 9 cover to Treaser. Grenade going off there, almost tearing out the veterans of the 3 Panzer squad. That was actually a good grenade, but didn't quite finish the job off. Panzer IV rolling up.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory.
And they're actually being company views too, but not necessarily available in multiplayer at the very least initially. But they actually are there. In fact, there's some missions where you can actually play as the Germans in what is known as Theatre of War mode. There's one called Blitzkrieg, We get a pair of these, a pair of infantry half-tracks, and a mortar half-track and some other stuff, and then you have to sort of break through the Soviet lines. Actually, a funny-looking mission. Rather looking forward to actually getting the full game. And also looking forward to the open beta. Until then, artillery strike right here on the victory point. A bit unfortunate there, a bit unfortunate artillery timing. Good retreat timing, though, on Faind behalf. As to when the open beta is, I don't know. I hope bloody well soon. Of course, I'll let you know when it happens. And in fact, as soon as I have an idea, I will tell you on Facebook, Twitter, or for that matter, just through the YouTube feed. So do not worry, my handsome fans and viewers. I shall let you know. Quick sticky bomb there on the Panzer fort, though again, armoured skirts makes it a bit less effective. Bagger once more rolling in. Bagger rather realising there's nothing to bagger. And again, the Sherman a bit on his own. I mean, I like that Treaser's actually persistent with his Sherman. What I don't like is he still needs to work on how he uses them. But at least he's got the right idea. Again, he's mostly facing infantry, so again the Sherman works nicely, but he isn't quite using them to their full effect, which, as you can see, is very much hurting him. Small fighting going on here about the... not entirely sure what I call that area. Things quiet down a bit.
Rangers ready.
Rifleman pushing in. Going in after those damn panzer gunners. Might actually result in a small victory right there for Treaser. But again, it's quite interesting. I mean, Faind has been playing for 40 minutes and we're not seeing a Panther battle group yet, although he could be very well close to getting it. In fact, he is. Now he's all of a sudden just getting a ton of kitten cards. And a Yak Panther. That is, well, bad news for Treaser again, who's barely got anything compared to Faind. I mean, just note the difference. I mean, Treaser's been fighting spiritedly, but again, his unit preservation, how he uses them, isn't just quite up to snuff to Faind. And that's rather the problem here. And again, I think some anti-tank guns might have benefited him a bit as well. Oh well. Oh well. And again, some off-map karma groups again would have provided him with the sufficient numbers. Bagger crew sounds awfully excited. And clearly not sleeping off on the job. There you go, Panzer's pushing in. Grenades going off, and ooh, not so good again. Another artillery strike. Still fighting for the victory points, and that might at this stage actually be the only hope that Treaser actually has of scoring a victory against Faind and the 2nd SS Panzerdivision des Reich. I've been getting out of that one quite luckily, unfortunately, with minimal losses, considering everything. Now the question is, why isn't he just calling in the Panther battle group and getting it over with? Oh, walking straight into the grave. You might see the Panzer Grenadiers go down. Nope. Bit fortunate there, but veterans won for the Rangers. So another small victory, but again the problem is Treaser needs a big victory, not a small victory at the moment. And clearly Faind is building up for some sort of just right down mean punch.
Attention, the enemy advances.
Which likely could involve calling in a Panther battle group, then a Yak Panther, and then just pretty much just curb stomping his opponents.
The area is secured. We have no enemy activity.
And a bit of quiet, let's beat this up a bit. Not a lot happening. Bit of a longer Monday novice fight. There we go. Right push against the Rangers. Force pushing up there, getting a Kettenclad and overwhelming it. Not really considerable victory for Treaser, since I'm pretty sure Faind won't be crying tears over the loss of a Kettenclad. Well, of course, I could be wrong, and in fact, Faind might need some severe therapy after this fight, after having suffered Kettenclad loss-induced post-traumatic stress. Always a possibility, of course.
Receiving you, Commander. We ready? Yes. Confirm readiness.
Howard continues to fire.
Order reads you. Loud and clear.
And also to wonder if that is a purchase that are actually necessarily very good for Treaser. And again, the question is, why is he flowing that much manpower again? Now, he can't actually call in the things, so... Is he actually intending to do it, or what is he intending to do? Is the question.
Ready for group.
But Treaser is fighting on spiritedly. He's still convinced of victory against the vile Kraut opponent. And there we go, he's actually using suppressive fire. Good, good, excellent, excellent. About damn time, it probably should have been used earlier, but now we are seeing the rifle getting absolutely torn apart by the assault rifles and the Gewehr 43 equipped panzer grenadiers with veterancy free, offensive veterancy free, and it's just slaughtering Treaser's infantry. Absolutely gruesome stuff. And there's just no way that Treaser really at this stage can keep up with that rate of losses.
The enemy is stealing a victory point from beneath.
Oh well, spinning things up again. Come on, call it in, man. He wants to see some Panther action. Using his combat. Nicely dodged there on the grenade, nicely dodged.
Destroyed an enemy unit.
Another grenade. Oh, he got the veterancy free. He got several veterancy. Holy, good lord! He just wiped out all of his veterancy free panzer grenadiers. That's actually impressive. Floating 2,000 manpower. Come on, Faind. Don't play around. That's just not nice. Let's get it over with. Deliver the coup de grace. And there we go. As predicted, he's calling in all at once. Well, predicted and predicted, of course. I saw this before, so it sounds a lot more exciting if I say it like that.
Ready for requisition.
Still, quite a force. And then he proceeds to do nothing with it again. Faind does need to be a bit more aggressive at times as well. That rather seems to be his major holding back point. He can get a bit too passive at times, and of course he also flounders a bit about, mucking about with things that aren't really necessary, it seems. And Treaser once more splits up his Shermans without proper support. He needs to build up a solid punch, not split up like that. And there we go, the assault is heading into space. Nice one. Comes out from Treaser. Treaser being a good sportsman, that's always nice to see. Always nice to see in a pair of novices. Good sportsmanship. And that's pretty much, game over. Might as well just speed it up. He's pretty much just going to wreck the base, and there's nothing Mr. Treaser can do about it. Of course, he could try and take the victory point, but I don't really think he can do it fast enough to avoid losing his base. Headquarters down. Panther actually went down, but another pair is ready to take in the fight. And there we go. GG. Game over. This match, by the way, was sent in by Treaser. Just forgot to point that out. He actually sent in a game where he was losing. obviously because we wanted to learn. And again, I mean, both players, I mean, both novice level, but still they had some good ideas. Again, there's definitely promise within both of them, although currently Faind is the one showing the most promise. He was the better one at the unit preservation game. He also had a nice aggressive opening. We also saw a nice aggressive opening up for Treaser, but again, the problem for Treaser was all of a sudden I can't quite describe what happened. He just all of a sudden got really passive with his German. He didn't push his advantages, and that, I think, rather cost him the game. He didn't push his advantages, and that combined with some of those really awful infantry assaults where he lost so much for no good reason, I think that rather cost him the game, to be honest. Again, there were certainly some good opportunities which then never really capitalized on, and then perhaps the failure to use the off-map combat group. Either of those things he probably could have won. The problem bit for Faind was he all of a sudden expanded too fast and went for the Panzer command, but probably it would have been better just retain the Panzer support command, get the Panzer force from there, and then, push in aggressively. Had he done that, he probably could have won. And of course, there's also the final option, had, he just bothered with, anti-tank guns a bit more. But, again, nice aggressive play. Good infantry preservation from Faind. And good use of the Berger-Tiger. That was actually quite nice to see. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a bit from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. What did you like about this match? What did you not like? And so on. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.